Hi there, hope you're having a good day. Welcome back to another video. Today we'll be talking about the Nike Ja 2. So this is Ja Morant's second signature shoe with Nike with a retail price of 120 US dollars. Some colorways were special editions like this Halloween one, it's called Nightmare, go for $10 extra and they're 130 bucks. The usual Nike stuff, you know. Now that the Ja 2 is out, usually what that means is discount time for the previous version. But the Ja 1 was honestly such a popular shoe. I've seen it on sale, but it doesn't flood the outlets and clearance stores like the Yanas and Lucas. Best deal I've seen was like $79 Canadian. That's about 55 bucks converted to USD. That's pretty tasty. Anyways, this colorway should be available on the Nike site in most places. Your local Foot Locker stores might have it. Some other retailers should as well. Is the 2 better than the 1? I can tell you right now, somebody in this room is a happy customer, and I'm not the only person in this room. All right, let's get right into it. As to how the Ja 2 performs on the court, starting with cushion, I wouldn't say it's excellent, but the midsole turned out to be more responsive than I expected. Ja 1 cushion was okay, kind of stiff at first. Breaks in slowly, but it doesn't ever become delicious. Ja 2 works in a similar way, but I felt a little bit more of a bounce back in the heel. Transitioning from front to back feels a lot smoother than the previous version too. I don't think Nike specified the type of foam used in their product description, but this feels softer than how full-length Phylon usually turns out. And the 4-foot zoom unit, I could somehow feel it in my steps. So even though the size of it might be sad, at least it's placed in the right spot to give you a nice pop up front. The moment I put on the Ja 2, it just feels like a shoe that urges me to play fast, even though I can. That wasn't something that I felt on the previous version. A lot of it has to do with how light these are. For size 10.5, my pair weighs about 370 grams only. That's extremely lightweight. It's already about 20 grams lighter than the Ja 1 in the same size. They feel even lighter than that on feet. So you're getting a minimal shoe with a subtle bounce in your movements. Impact protection is about average. Traction was absolutely fantastic on my usual dusty court. This pair has a red solid rubber outsole. If you care about the squeak, this is also super loud and squeaky. Don't let you hear it for sure. Yeah, I was able to get to a hard stop very consistently. Close to a perfect grip, I would say. They do pick up dust, and dust does get trapped in between the grooves sometimes, like in those little squares and different shapes. So you just gotta wipe it off frequently to get the best out of it. This traction pattern reminds me of the Sabrina 2. Big Nike swoosh. Both of these are amazing guard shoes with excellent traction. I'll run a quick comparison later at the end too. For outdoor use, that I'm not sure honestly. I don't want to be just making guesses. Ja 1 Halloween, I did end up using it outside, so I know it's fine. This time I think I'm gonna keep mine for indoors. But based on how this rubber feels in hand, you should be okay, durability wise. With the fit, it looks like they've made some slight adjustments, but not much has changed really. You can either go true to size or half size up. True to size will be a very snug fit. I'm okay with it, but if you have really wide feet, you probably need that half size up. Otherwise, it just might be too tight, especially in the toe box. Speaking of the toe box fit, the weird shape of the Ja 1 4-foot, they mildly reduce the degree to which it protrudes outward. It's still there, but close to normal now. Yeah, wide footers definitely consider sizing up. For slightly wider feet, medium or narrow feet, go true to size for a snug fit. Lengthwise is right on, not much heel slippage. Moving on to the materials used, this colorway is a combination of mesh and suede. On some other colorways, the suede part becomes leather. On the preheat colorway, it's got like a synthetic overlay. I don't know, that one looks very plasticky, which is why I decided to skip on it. So I only have this one for now, but this upper, I'm super happy with it. It's nice and cozy, doesn't feel too cheap, conforms to my movements well, no pinching for sure, no discomfort or weird folding at a corner or something like that. I really want to point out that the inner side of the tongue, this feels really plush. and it's a relatively short tongue, so it doesn't flap around, doesn't cause any pinching or rubbing. See, these are all small things that add to the comfort. Lateral containment was decent too. My flat feet weren't sliding out too much to the side. Over time, if you got extremely flat feet like I do, you will experience some soreness. Just keep that in mind. Lockdown is great. Torsional support is alright. If I was to bend it directly, it's got quite some rigidity to the upper actually. I was putting a good amount of force on it there. So I'd actually recommend that you get one of the colorways that comes in either suede or leather instead of synthetic overlay. This shoe will be breathable enough either way, so you don't have to get the thinnest version to have good ventilation. Like, I never felt that my feet were heating up too much inside. All good in this aspect here. Design wise, personal opinion first, I think the twos look better than the ones. It does look like a Kobe. Yes, I can see that. Over the past year and a half, on the Ja1, they made some of the best colorways out there. There were so many dope colorways. Last Halloween, the Ja1 zombie was great, I thought. Here on the heel, they have these zombie hands sticking out at the back too. It's like embroidered onto this suede panel. Silver teeth that spell out Morand on the lace lock. Logo on the tongue as usual. I really liked how they played around with mismatching logo colors on the left and right shoe previously, and it seems like they'll be doing that quite a lot on this model too. Gold Nike swoosh goes really well with the dark red base and black trims. Simple but cool looking shoebox. I know I kind of hate it on the Ja1, but hey, the two's design and performance just hit the right spots for me. While I still consider it more of a shoe made for the younger hoopers. Hopefully Ja himself can have a successful season, stay out of troubles. I mean, he's still very young. To have a signature shoe made like this, sold at this price point, actually makes a lot of sense now that I look at it. Overall, I would say the Ja 2 goes right up there as one of the most practical, no BS, straightforward, lightweight hoop shoes out there. Playing in them, I felt like this shoe gave me a gutsy performance. You know, I had to earn the comfort and cushion over time, but traction, weight, and agility, these were given as strengths in my opinion. So altogether, it's got great functionality. I think more people will enjoy it than not, especially for the faster guards out there. You'll have a blast playing in these. Comparing it to the Ja1, the previous version, I would take the Ja 2 because it's got even better core feel, a smoother ride. They adjusted the fit by a tiny bit. I somehow think the material feels more comfortable too. So I am very impressed by the Ja 2. This type of a mainly positive experience I did not have with the Ja1. Other comparisons, let's just get to the one that you might be most interested in. Ja 2 versus Sabrina 2. As someone with slightly wider feet and very flat feet, my pick would be the Sabrinas. But I think the choice between these two really comes down to your foot shape. Remember, for flat footers, you will have some soreness with these, but not much with the Sabrinas. Does it remind me of any specific shoes in the past? Zoom Freak 4 is one that comes to mind, except the foam here isn't as soft. Or maybe a better question is, do they resemble a pair of Kobe's? Yes, kind of. Relatively slim in the toe box, clean and crispy bounce. Nothing crazy or super soft underneath. Traction is absolutely fantastic, while the shoe gives you a minimal feeling. Alright, that's about it for this video on the Ja 2. As always, I'd love to know your thoughts on these, so please let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next one.